Pittsburgh Steelers running back Najee Harris has declined all interviews and has not spoken to the media since the end of last season. And also, Pittsburgh Steelers general manager Omar Khan reveals the truth about Najee Harris's contract situation. So, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like the video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, let's start there first. General manager Omar Khan, he was on 93.7 The Fan to talk about Pittsburgh Steelers football. And obviously, one of the questions that came up was about Najee Harris and his fifth-year option, how the Pittsburgh Steelers declined it, and basically why they declined it. And this is what he had to say about the topic. Here's his quote and him explaining it. It was a business decision that we had to make by May 2nd. But Najee's awesome to have around here. Love Najee as a player and a person. Just because we didn't pick it up, it doesn't exclude us from doing something with Najee long term. I love to say Najee was here and had a long career in Pittsburgh. He really represents us well on the field and off the field. It was just one of those things where we had to make a decision on. We just felt right now that it was the right decision for everyone. I love Najee. I'd love to have him here long term. End quote. So this follows a similar type of response that Mike Tomlin gave during the OTAs and how he talked about Najee Harris' situation. This basically all it says is a business decision, but it never really explains what the business decision is for this, because his option was only $6.79 million, and that would have guaranteed it for 2025, and that salary would have put him within the top 12 or 13 range of running backs paid in the league, and it seemed like a good number for Najee Harris to be making next season. But obviously the Steelers turned it down, and now they're going to have a business decision to make next offseason whether they decide to extend him, and he'll be a free agent, so he'll be able to decide wherever he goes, alongside Jalen Warren, who's also a free agent. This decision leads the Pittsburgh Steelers to having no control or no leverage over the signings next offseason, because now both running backs will be free agents, and they'll decide if they want to sign with the team or sign with a different team for more money. So it could really put them in a bad situation, but obviously Omar Khan knows what he's doing. He's done a great job so far as a general manager, so you have to trust the process with him. Khan, during the 93.7 The Fan interview, was also asked about Najee Harris's kind of reaction and if the Pittsburgh Steelers kind of contacted him and let him know about them declining his contract, and he said this: "Out of respect for him, I'll keep the conversation between the two of us. It does not prevent us from doing business long term." End quote. So obviously he keeps reiterating kind of the same thing, saying, hey, even though we declined the contract, we could still sign to a long-term deal. And this is basically what I was saying earlier in the offseason when this contract was first declined, saying, hey, the Steelers, they could still sign to a long-term deal. Just because they declined his contract doesn't mean that the Pittsburgh Steelers just want him gone, want him out of Pittsburgh, and don't want nothing to do with him anymore. No, this could allow them to sign him to a huge contract kind of extension for multiple years. But you have to think about it like this from both sides. Najee Harris, he's going to be 29 if the Pittsburgh Steelers accepted the contract. So now him getting into free agency around 27 instead of 29, that makes it a big deal in terms of his process and what he'll be able to get on the market. So if anything, maybe it does help both sides. It helps Najee Harris, and it does help the Steelers as well, because now the Steelers get assigned to a long-term deal instead of having that one-year deal extended. Now Najee Harris, he gets to hit the free agency market earlier, younger, so maybe he'll get more money on the open market as well. So it could really help both parties, like Omar Khan said. But you have to think about it like this: if the Steelers decline $6.7 million or whatever it would have been, put him in within the top 12 to 15, how much lower are they really planning on signing Najee Harris? Because I don't think Najee Harris would accept a contract for multiple years around $6 million. That's about an average contract for him. I think he would want at least around $10 million based off where some other running backs are at and his kind of production that he's put up the first 3 years. basically leading the team in touches and being the bell cow, being the horseback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of having the ball in his hands and having production every single time. He's been the offense for the Steelers for a couple seasons now. Last season was a little bit of a kind of re-emerging season for him later down the line. So you see Najee Harris, and maybe this season he could even want more money than that 6.7 million, and it could turn out even worse for the Steelers. And also, when you look at this offense, it's an Arthur Smith offense. What's an Arthur Smith offense? Run the ball. What does that do? That gives more touches, more opportunities to Najee Harris to put up those more yards, put up more receiving yards, and just get more touches. And what does that equal? That equals more stats. And what does stats equal? That equals more money on the open market. So it could really help Najee Harris and could really hurt the Pittsburgh Steelers based off it being an Arthur Smith offense. And this offense projected to be even better than last season. If Najee Harris was able to put up 1,000 yards under a kind of Matt Canada offense, why can't he do it with Arthur Smith and do it even better? And the Steelers already rebuilt the entire offense line, getting new pieces at center, getting new pieces at right tackle. So it's an even better offensive line now. So Najee Harris, he should have a really good season, and this could be even better for him and hurt the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Omar Khan knows what he's doing, so we have to trust the process. Now, moving over to the second topic of this video is Najee Harris has declined to speak to media so far this offseason, not wanting anything to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers media team or media people ask him any questions about anything. He actually said that the next time he'll speak will be during training camp. He does not want to speak yet. This was actually reported by Brooke Pryor and Ray Filipaldo, basically saying, hey, media availability has wrapped up for both OTAs and minicamp, but Najee Harris, who hasn't done interviews since January, declined every request. And asked in the locker room today about it, he basically said the next time he'll talk is in a month in training camp. So the Pittsburgh Steelers media team has heard nothing from Najee Harris since the end of last season and have not been able to ask him any questions about his contract situation and how he feels about it or anything like that. So Najee Harris, he's not mandated, he's not obligated to do these media sessions at this point in the offseason. So he's basically just using his right to say, hey, I don't want to do it. I'll do it next month when I have to. And also, when you look at Najee Harris, he has had a prickly relationship with the Pittsburgh Steelers media so far during his career. In his first season as a rookie, it seemed like he was really an open book, talking to the media, back and forth sessions with them, making jokes with reporters, and just a fun back and forth. But occasionally, during his last 2 seasons, it seems as though he's often been criticized in the media, and reporters have taken his words out of context. So he's often kind of bashed the media in his interviews, saying that they've done this to him. They basically said he can criticize reporters to their face, criticize the reporters many times. So the back and forth between the media and him have not been great recently, and obviously this could play a role into why he does not want to do kind of the media availability. Maybe they'll take his words again and flip them and make it seem as though he's really pissed off about the contract situation. So maybe he just doesn't want to speak to them until he has to during the training camp sessions. But Najee Harris, he is up for a contract. And this is his chance to really prove to the NFL and to the Steelers that a mistake was made. Should have accepted his contract, his 5th-year option, because now he's about to go off and that contract is going to be a lot higher. So this is his chance to prove it, while being a bell cow running back in terms of Arthur Smith run first heavy offense, in which we've seen many times with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, he went off for like 2,000 yards with the Tennessee Titans, with Arthur Smith having his best career, and then Atlanta Falcons, always a run heavy offense. So Najee Harris, this is his chance to go off and prove the doubters wrong, prove the fans wrong, prove the reporter wrong, and prove kind of the Steelers organization who declined his contract wrong as well. So this is a chance. Let's see if he earns it and if he capitalizes on it. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about this situation in terms of Omar Khan breaking down Najee Harris, saying, hey, we love him as a person, as a player, And just because we declined his contract, it was just a business decision, and we could still extend him long term if we want to. And also, how do you feel about Najee Harris declining all media interviews so far and has not done one since January? Do you think he should have? Do you think he should just do what he needs to do? He's not mandated to do it, so just do it when you have to. And that is training camp, in which he says will be his next time speaking. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. I've covered all Steelers news through the draft, through free agency, every new player we got. Introduction was done for them on the channel. So if you want to go ahead and check it out, they're all there. And also, I'll continue to cover all highlights of the Steelers offseason programs, training camp with analysis and everything like that. And when the games start coming back around, preseason, regular season, covering all that as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, like the video. I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.